Hello, welcome to the little house in the big woods. Today we're going to be making some homemade rolls and some clam chowder. So let's get started. So here I have 2 cups of water. Starting on the rolls first, we're going to put in some sugar, about 2 teaspoons of sugar, and about 2 tablespoons of yeast. Give that a stir, and we're going to let this proof so we can take about 5 or 10 minutes to do that. While we're waiting on that, we're going to be doing some carrots and some celery that I've already got prepared. I've peeled these carrots. So now we're just going to chop them or slice them, however you want to do it. Today I guess I'm going to slice them. Clam chowder is one of my favorite things to make in the cooler temperatures because it's tasty and warm, and I guess it's a comfort food similar to some potato. We've been getting a real good storm from snowstorms here at the little house. I went out today and was working in snow blowing and trying to snow blow, but it didn't work out because the snow ended up being too heavy, and so I shoveled out a spot for my husband to come home, and our nice neighbor came over and snow plowed our driveway again for us. I called them and have to let them know how appreciative I am of that, because just don't always have good neighbors like that. So I've got probably about, I think about 6 carrots here. A couple of them are kind of small, but they'll work. If you can, leave in the comments what your favorite soup is. What you like to cook as your comfort soup in the wintertime. I also like to have a beef stew or a chili. Those are pretty good too. Something I can have with some cornbread. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. But probably another one of my favorite soups is cassoulet. I'll have to make that in a video sometimes. It's pretty easy to do. Oh, my yeast just came alive. It's getting happy now. It's got that sugar, and sugar is its friend. Kids like rolls with their soup, so happy to oblige with some nice fresh dinner rolls. How's the weather where you're living? Okay, I'm going to just put these carrots in this bowl right here. Pretty soon we're going to have to add them to the pot and get them start to cook. We're still waiting on our yeast to go, so I'm going to chop up this celery. I like celery. It's a good snack to eat. Always tastes refreshing when I eat celery by itself. Sorry about that, my camera stopped on me. We'll try this again. Keep going with these rolls. Like I said, I like these rolls. They don't really take too much time. You can freeze them at this section, and or you know, when they're in this state, and then save them for later. My grandpa, I used to cook these scones for him. Oh my goodness, he just loved them. I'm gonna try to make some, I made some mixed berry preserves, so I was gonna make some cinnamon rolls out of that. Thought that sounded good. We're almost there. Been watching the little fuzzy finches that fly around out here. Gonna be getting some cooler temperatures and making sure that our chickens are getting warm. We have a sheep named Garamide and a goat named Saturn. They kind of became friends on a sad note. We had a horse named Freckles, and he was 26, and over this past fall he became lame and couldn't really get around too good, so we decided it was in his best interest to put him down. And the little goat we have was my niece's goat. Well, it's still technically her goat, but our goat and my son's sheep Garamide became real good friends. The goat lost its sibling from a dog attack, so we took the goat, and they've become real good friends. So anyways, here's our rolls. We're gonna go let them proof in the oven. I'm gonna set a little I like these flour sack towels that I get, and I put them over it so it helps them get hot, stop from being hard in the oven while they're proofing. If I don't use my oven cycle, I will heat my oven to 200 and then shut it off and put a pan of boiling water in there, and it helps humidify the area and keep them warm, and it helps proof them that way. Alright, let's go get these in the oven. Okay, so we got our vegetables in here. I went ahead and dumped them in my Dutch oven, cast iron Dutch oven. I love cast iron. It's one of my favorites to cook on. I've used Dutch oven or cast iron or stainless steel to cook on. So we're going to let these simmer and stew. I'm going to go ahead and add some spices here. Get that cooked into these. I'm going to go ahead and use about a half a teaspoon of white pepper. My kids don't like pepper that much, so that's what I'm doing. Savory. I like savory. It's just one of those. We're going to put in a teaspoon of savory. Okay, it's going to take about 10 minutes to get these going, and around that time is when the bread probably be done proofing in the oven. So I'll come back to you then. Okay, so my vegetables are good and sauteed, and we're ready to add the milk and the clams for this clam chowder. And I'm also going to add a little bit of bouillon. Sometimes it can be kind of plain, but we'll do it. We're going to add about 8 cups of milk. Now, sometimes, you know, you might want a little bit not as thick, but we have a bigger family, so I like to add we like ours a little bit richer. Some, if you like it real creamy, you could add some half and half. Give that rich flavor. I have 2 cans of clam chowder, or excuse me, minced clams, not drained, that I'm adding to it. I leave the juices in it to help give it a little bit of that clammy flavor. We're just going to let this come to a boil. And today I'm going to be adding some cornstarch. Normally I would have used maybe some flour to thicken before I added everything, but I decided to use cornstarch today. Okay, so we're going to let this go to a boil, and then I'll come back. Okay, so we are good and boiled, and I also preheated my oven to 400 degrees for those rolls. And we're going to go ahead and add this cornstarch. I put about 5 tablespoons to about half a cup of water. We'll slowly, gradually add that and let that thicken up. Okay, I'm going to turn my heat off now because these pans tend to stay pretty warm. And now I'm going to, if you can't see that, we're going to, here's what that looks like. Some nice tasty clam chowder. So now I'm going to stick those buns in the oven, or excuse me, those rolls in the oven. We'll give them a cook for about 25 minutes, and then I'll come back and show you what they look like. Put it on my plate so I can have me a good roll and a good cut me out one of these rolls. I did swipe a little butter on the top of them. I like to do that. It helps keep them soft a little bit. Okay, here's our roll. Look at that steamy, hot, fresh baked bread. Doesn't that look just yummy? Okay, I'm going to put it on my plate here. I got my plate with my soup. All good and ready to try it out. Mmm. Oh, tasty. I hope you'd like to try this recipe and see how you like it, and give me a thumbs up if you do and thumbs down if you don't. Everybody has their preferences. Okay, well, you have a good evening or good day whenever you're watching this video, and remember that wherever you are, there's somebody that loves you. Alright, have a good evening.